What's happening, everyone? Alistair here, and well, we are finally going to start tinkering on this 87 Wagoneer. So, I've done a few videos on this when I got it, and you've seen a few videos of me detailing the inside. Well, it's now finally time to turn my attention to trying to get this thing running. So, here is the issue with it. Previous owner told me that he was driving it and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden he lost oil pressure. Uh-oh. So he was close to home, so he just booked it to try to get this thing in his driveway, and as soon as he apparently pulled into his driveway, that was it. Locked up. So he dropped the oil pan, and he claims there was a spun bearing and he couldn't get the engine to break free. So he was going to replace it with another 360 he had, and that parts one you saw me dismantle, that was apparently a good motor when it was parked. As we all know, that motor was not good. And yeah, I was going to use that engine. You saw me tear it down. But it needs a little love, and it needs to go to the machine shop, which isn't the end of the world, you know. However, I got another 360 coming from a friend. I'm getting it shipped right now. And it's on the way. Should be here probably within a week or so, give or take. It's a relatively low miles rebuilt 360 with about 30,000 miles. I have personally touched this engine and worked on this engine before, and it's a good running motor. So we are just going to plop that guy into here once it shows up. So it's time to start busting this old 360 out so I can clean the engine bay and get it all prepped and ready before this other 360 shows up. So the good news with this is this 360 is not locked up. Surprise, surprise, right? I was able to break it free. Actually rotates pretty easily, knock on Jeep. So the good news is I'll be able to separate it from the transmission. I'll be able to get all the torque converter bolts because I can rotate it. So that's great news. So it's a bummer that he left the oil pan off for the last, let's see here, this was last registered in 2014, so I'm guessing it was parked around then, and when you drop the pan to investigate, he never put the pan back on, so it's all rusty on the inside of the engine. But who knows, we'll pull this engine, I'll probably tear it apart, you know, see what's going on. Maybe it's a good core, hopefully it's a good core. I'll just throw it in the corner of my garage and, you know, keep it for a rainy day for another rebuild. So that will make, actually that makes two 360s I have now, 4 cores. So that's good. It's probably not the last Wagoneer or full-size Jeep I'll end up getting. But anyways, enough chit chat. It's time to get started disassembling this 360 and getting ready to plug out of here. Let's go. Alright, time to take the radiator out. Now, there's 4 bolts that hold this radiator in on the side here. 2 on each side. There's usually a fan shroud right here, but I already had taken that off. It was pretty much busted out. Definitely replacing this radiator because it's coming apart. That's the bracket that's supposed to be, you know, soldered onto the side of the radiator. So fun. So definitely replacing this. Now we should be able to take this guy out. Now all the room for activities. Oh wow. So this guy apparently, the reason why he ended up with that parts one that you saw, that I dismantled, that came with this one when I purchased it, apparently that one was in a wreck as you saw, but this one he had a deer with and mangled the front, so he bought the parts one to swap some stuff from the parts one to this, like a fender and the grill and whatnot. And you could definitely tell because, let's see here, I don't know if you could see this, but the AC condenser is pretty bowed out. So we'll be replacing that. And actually, now I can see the trans cooler in front of it's even worse. So that's fun. You'll see that here in a second. So first off, I'm going to bust these the lines loose. I already know there's no refrigerant in the system, so I don't got to worry about you backing the system or anything like that. There's nothing in it, which is no surprise because, well, I mean, look at this. And then, of course, the hoses are pretty nasty. So let me go get some tools. I'll be right back. Alright, so to take the condenser out of these full-size Jeeps, really the easiest way, the only way to get at these fittings is to take the radiator out, unfortunately. So, just a little FYI. Top is a 7/8. Oh yeah! And I lubed the heck out of it with free oil penetrating oil before I attempted this. Come on. Come on, you bugger. There you go. Alright. Now, bottom to 3/4. We'll try that right away. And probably gonna end up punching something. Come on. Or twist that off, probably. She free. Maybe. Uh-oh. Come on. Well, I screwed up. I should have kept that 7/8 on there a little longer. It was coming off, and then all of a sudden I decided to twist the tube. Good thing I'm not using this condenser because it's trash anyways. That would have been a bummer if I was going to try to reuse this. I'll live my life 1/4 turn at a time. Yep, right there. Oh, for Pete's sakes. I'm thinking. There you go. See, I had to hold on to this guy to break it loose, and I jumped the gun and thought it was free because it was spinning, but then it got in the tight spot and it started twisting this whole coil off. But you know what? Like I said, it doesn't really matter much because this thing is trash and needs to be replaced anyways. Alright. So now that we got the lines broke loose off the condenser, we just got to remove these 4 little sheet metal bolts here that holds in place, which I think it's a 5/16. I'll be right back. So 5/16. Should we go the right way? Let's, oh, already losing them. Perfect. It's 4 of them, like I said. 2 on each side. Oh, stop it. Oh, shit. That one's gone. Where'd you go? I miss you so. Well, gonna have to look for that one. But anyways, now this should be broken loose. Oh, we have to remove the accumulator is attached to it, the condenser. Again, 5/16, so I'll drop that one too. There we go. That did not work. I'm not gonna mess up this line too bad. She on there? Good grief. Oh. Come on. Badly. Hey. Now we should be able to take this guy out. Oh man. Yep, you can see this trans cooler is yeah, she's pretty bent. Surprised it wasn't leaking. Must be fog lights or something that would used to be on this thing. Yeah, little bent. Anyways, we will continue on tearing this down. Alright, now that we get the radiator out and the condenser out, AC condenser, we're going to work on disassembling the front clip. We're going to take the whole front clip off just because A, it's a lot easier to work around everything to get the motor out, and B, there's a few things that's going on with this front clip. Now, the gentleman that owned this before I bought it, he hit a deer with it at some point. That's how he ended up with the parts vehicle. He bought the parts wagoneer for mainly the grill and the driver's fender. And as you already saw, you know, obviously it took out a lot more than he replaced. Like the condenser was like this, the air trans cooler's all bowed out. But anyways, regardless, when they went to put this fender on, stuff's not lined up, and I'm not sure if that's because A, this is all bent and I don't really know it until I get it all apart, or they just didn't. There is a bolt and nut that's down here. That's kind of a pain to get to when it's all together like this without it being all off the rig. So we got some alignment issues, so I just thought, well, it would be better just to take the ball off as once. I've done that before, and it does make it easier, like I said, to get around the engine, pull the engine. The other way we could do it, of course, is just pull the hood and pull it out that way, but it definitely makes it easier with the full front clip off. And then I don't have to raise my cherry picker, to the sky high with an engine dangling, like a wrecking ball. So we got to take the hood off, take the grill off, take the bumper off, and then there's 2 core support bolts and nuts down in here, and then we just got a few bolts underneath the inner fenders and the fenders at the body by the doors to bolt, and it will all come off in one piece. All right. So with that being said, better get started. All right, so we're gonna take the bumper off as the first thing. We need it's a 5/8 and 11/16 is what you need. Sockets usually will do the trick. Got a ratchet and an impact gun, but I might have to go with a wrench because it looks like this has been bent up enough that it gets in the way. Actually, let me get one more thing. I got an idea. Oh, let's see. This might clear it a little bit better. Let's find out real quick. Not get eaten off by a spider. Oh, there you go. No. There she is. Oh. Well, let's see. Looks like this did get caved in a little bit. It definitely did. So I don't think it's the alignment of the fender. I believe this core support's pretty angled, pushed in right there. But we'll find out. We'll get a little apart and take a look. Alright, so we got the rear bumper, or excuse me, front bumper off. Now it's time to take the grill off. And I should have shown you where I was going at when I was taking the bumper off, but it's pretty, I'll kind of show you right now. We'll kind of get the idea. The bolts. So there's 3 bolts on each side with a nut that hold the bumper to the frame. Now it's kind of hard to get up into this side because you got the steering box there, but as you just saw, it was not too hard for me to get these off. Now I did lube the heck out of them with some Freol. Whatever your favorite penetrating oil is, I would say we'll start soaking the heck out of them for a couple hours, especially depending on where you're from and where the Jeep came from. If it came from like the East Coast, God be with you. But anyways, so that's all it is there's 3 bolts, 3 nuts on each side, here, here, and there, and just like that. Now, and then you can just slide the bumper right off. All right. So now we're gonna take the grill off. So we got some bolts with 1/2-inch heads, so it's a 1/2-inch socket on top, and then you got 1, 2, 3 screws on the bottom. Now I'm already missing 2, so I really just gotta worry about this bottom one everything. And then if you go to the top, and I'll be replacing those because they're rusty and crusty. Oh. Now I'm bring you up here so you can check it out. Alright, so now we're on top. We got 1, 2, 3. Oh, excuse me, you don't need that one. You only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bolts that you gotta take out. Too much torque. We don't need to go breaking stuff. Alright, and now you should. Voila. And that's the other thing actually, is you'll see right there, there's actually supposed to be 2 screws. There's one tab here and one tab on the other side. There's supposed to be a couple screws on this side holding it in, but I didn't bother because, well, I figured they weren't there. And the only way to access those is actually taking off the headlight bezels. So I should have showed you that, but I didn't. I forgot about that. I'll show it to you when I go to put it back on. Holy Toledo, that transcooler's seen better days. Let me show you. Alright, so yeah, you know, it's good. No, it's not. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this guy. We got 1, 2, 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts we're gonna take out. So 3/8 in the front, 7/16 nut in the back. And why do I feel like something's crawling on me? This probably is. Save that little spacer. We will be replacing this transcooler, that's for sure. No, come back. And I think the only other thing I need to do is, before I get too crazy, this is a little bracket here that holds the line. It helps secure the line. Now I'm tripping over my tarp. There we go. Take that off. There's this little Phillips screw. And I'm gonna need the bag and tag all of these, even though I'm pretty familiar with it, but where everything goes. But I still like the bag and tag. It helps me remember where stuff came from and to store the stuff and not lose it. Most of the time. You know, sometimes I do lose the whole bag. Yeah. Not quite straight anymore, huh? Oh, bother. Ooh. Forgot there's a zip tie that holds those wires on. Got nothing in my little handy dandy pocket knife. Can't fix. In theory. Alright, and now we can see the front of the motor. Again, let's not lose this. Oh. For my next trick, watch me drop something about 6 times. Alright, so now we can see the front of the motor, which is nice. Because we'll probably tear some of the front accessories off before we pull it, just to make it, you know, a little tighter. And now we can get at the the front bolts of the core support. Almost wonder if there's a way I could pull this top. Maybe, probably not, without messing it up more. All right, pause for the cause, regroup, and plan the next plan of attack. All right, so as I mentioned before, there's a bolt that goes right through the core support into the fender right there. You can see the hole there. Obviously they didn't put that in because that fender, or the core support's bent right there when they replaced the fender from the deer accident. But this one's in, and you can see it right. Give me a second here. There. So that's the bolt. It's a 1/2 inch head. I'm just going to, I already lubed it from the other side. Lube it real good. And of course you gotta take the turn signal out to get to that bolt. And we're gonna take that out. And then we should just have the stuff on the top. And of course the main core support bushings right there. And that will be separated from the rest of it. Now we will have to take the fenders off first, because the fenders, as you can see, it cups the core support like that. So we'll have to take the fenders off and push them out in order to get this out. So with that being said, I am going to pressure wash underneath it because there's a lot of mud and stuff I noticed in the frame rail where that nut is. So I'm going to try to clean that out first before I soak it with penetrating oil. And there's a good chance I might just let it soak overnight and come back tomorrow to try to get that out. Oh, we're going to have to take the reservoirs out too to get to that one easier. All right, be right back.